And good morning, Ozarks. Chris is going to tell us all about how he missed his shot right after this.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
He's okay.
Hey. Can't tell that one on the air.
That one cannot be told on the air.
I'm trying to find a poker face.
There's not one
I'm
for
still
that.
feeling it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, luckily we had like a nurse prac and an EMT that came in with parents, and they went back in there and
Assisted.
helped him out. Yeah.
Okay, well,
but
good
there's,
morning, Beth.
without, telling the story, there's not just physical pain with that scenario.
There's emotional pain.
There's a lot of emotional pain.
I'm in pain.
We're
I'm
sorry
currently
to
in pain.
leave you like this, Waffle, but
It's
there's
okay.
just some things that cannot
Let
be
your
said on
mind
air.
wander.
I'm not even sure
Talk about it.
Why you even brought that up.
Talk among well,
amongst
it came.
yourselves.
It randomly came into my memory
Oh,
over the
okay.
weekend.
All right, yeah.
I don't know why, but
So I
it
guess
did.
you were there when that happened, or the girls were.
I think it was around that time.
Where's he
yeah.
at? Well,
What's going on?
you don't need to know. Woo!
Wow.
All right.
You,
Wow.
you.
Elephant in the room. You just want to get out there, Chris?
Okay.
Tell us
Your
about
hunting
your.
So this is the happiest season of them all. It's
Happiest
spring
season
turkey
of all.
season is my holiday. There's nothing I love more than spring turkey.
I love
season.
that.
It is so much fun. I don't live for it. I thoroughly enjoy it.
It's your jam.
It is my favorite thing to just go enjoy in the woods. So last Tuesday I was not here because I was turkey hunting. Opening day was kind of a bust. I had 3 Jakes that were just all over me, wouldn't leave me alone. And
Jake from State
that
Farm,
Jake
or-
is in a year-old
What are you wearing,
male,
Jake?
Yeah, that you don't want to shoot. A young buck, if you will.
Yeah.
So there were 3 of them, and that's all I had. So the next day was perfect. It was clear. It was cold. The birds were gobbling.
Oh,
and
delightful.
normally when they are gobbling where I heard them, it's a done deal in this spot. And so I'm like, okay, we just got to be patient. They're going to fly out the roost. They're going to do their thing with the hens, and then they're going to make their way to us. And it was going to script, right?
Smashingly. Yeah.
So now they are just to my left. I'm waiting for them to come under the fence and just be in shooting range. And so I got quiet, which you don't want to overcall when they're close.
Yeah.
And instead of coming in, they kind of moseyed on up the fence line and entered into the neighbor's big field. And when they do that, historically, they're not coming. And so my heart sunk. And they were like 60 yards away on the other side of the fence. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to just try to call. And I called, and two 2-year-olds were with this one big Tom, and the 2-year-olds would just gobble. That's what they do. They just gobble. They're just teenagers. They're just going crazy. Mm-hmm. And
Like
so but they're
teenagers
just
do.
getting further and further away. Then they're 80 yards away. Then they're 100 yards, maybe 120. But I was persistent, occasionally calling, keeping their interest. And the big one, after a while, started moseying his way over.
Oh.
And so I was like, all right,
what we got going over
I'm
here?
sweet talking this boy. You know, he's going
Yeah.
to come. And he was coming
Hey.
real slow, testing my patience. Because you always want to overcall, and you kind of have to respond. If he's not being real loud, you just kind of have to, you know. So I'm giving these like
That's the-
soft little purrs,
Oh,
like,
oh.
hey, baby, you know. And so
Yeah,
Cue the Barry White.
undercurrent here is a little, you know.
Cue the Barry White music.
Getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
a little
So
brown chicken, brown
this is
cow
what
going
you
on
do,
here.
right? Right. I'm playing the mood music, and so I'm thinking it's going to happen, and then all of a sudden, 2 live hens enter the big
Oh
field,
no.
and the 2 2-year-olds go after them, and I'm like, well, he's going to go after that. I can't
Yeah.
compete with that,
Yeah.
right? No, he kept coming.
Oh.
I got it going on.
Yeah.
So I patiently called this guy all the way, and he kind of thought he was going to. They get what they call hung up. They get hung up at a river or a fence, and all that time they don't
Because
want to
they're
cross.
turkeys.
They don't want to cross that barrier. They don't want to fly over it. They
What
don't
is
wanna go
this? It's nature.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought, well, he's going to get stuck there. Well, no. Called him under the fence. He's there. So
Oh.
now he's on my property. He's in gun range, and I'm thinking, well, why isn't he coming to my decoy? And he's kind of acting a little spooky, and I thought, I just probably need to go ahead and take this shot. It wasn't a long shot, but it was long, but not stupid long.
Yeah.
I missed.
Just
I just missed. I've probably done that twice ever.
Yeah.
And then he started to run, and I shot like a desperation shot and missed. He flew. I hit him. He hit the ground. He did a somersault, but then he took off running.
he's like, I'm fine.
So I feel really bad. I injured this bird. We went
Yeah.
looking for him, found feathers, no blood, but I
probably
injured
all
this
right.
bird.
Yeah.
So
You don't want to do that.
no, it's the worst. I
Yeah.
literally, it's just so that people understand this. I was sick about it all day. So hunters were not just like these cruel people that
no,
don't care.
yeah.
I
Anybody
was-
I know
it-
is
it
just riddled with guilt.
messed
over that
with
guilt.
my
Yeah.
mood all day on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Honestly, that's the reason I've never actually went bow hunting,
Yeah.
because I don't feel confident in myself that I would actually have a clean kill.
Yeah, you want.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hurt an animal.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Yeah.
hunt it, you need to kill it. and
I
kill it
regret to
quickly.
say, in my early bow hunting days, I had to learn by making those mistakes, and I felt bad about
Yeah.
it. So I learned, and okay, now you only take good, ethical, clean kill shots. You know. And
Yeah.
You do your best. Oops, you do your best to do that. Anyway, long story short, yesterday morning I got my revenge, and
Revenge.
I had 2 birds right above my head. Got there before light. It was under dark. Got my decoys out and made one call. They flew to the decoy, and I got a bird that had 5 beards.
That's cool.
Oh.
5 beards.
Wow.
Which is unique, not unheard of,
weird.
but unique. And so it was a really cool,
Does that
cool,
mean
mature.
it's an old bird or
Not necessarily, but this one was, probably a 4-year-old.
Seasoned.
Yeah, 4-year-old bird. So.
Now it's seasoned in
so beards
teriyaki
are the
sauce.
turkeys like the points are to bucks? Is that right?
Yeah,
Kinda,
not
sorta,
necessarily.
really?
Well, there's a couple things. I killed a 2-year-old bird that had the largest fan of any bird I've ever killed. So a young bird with a huge fan. It was really cool. It looked like a peacock almost.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
But that was a long time ago. Usually the length of the spurs are the greatest indicator of
Long in
age.
the tooth?
If they're long, yeah, long in the spur. And then the beard, you can have a young bird with a big bushy beard, and then you can have anyway, it can vary.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the spurs are the real indicator.
Turkeys they're so neat looking from a distance, and you get up close to them and see their actual features, and you're like, ew, you're disgusting.
weird
Gross.
looking
This
animal.
beautiful plumage, right? And then
Oh, yeah.
their
That head is just repulsive.
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
the worst. It's so gross.
And it changes colors.
Yeah,
when
it's so
they're
weird.
mating and they come in, all puffed up, that head just turns bright white, light blue, bright white
So
instead
weird.
of red. It's really bizarre. Yeah.
Our
beautiful in their own way,
our,
in their own right.
national symbol, of
There
course, is
are.
the
Kinda like
bald
me.
eagle, right? The bald eagle.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Ben Franklin wanted
He
the,
wanted the turkey.
the wild turkey.
He wanted the turkey.
I mean, that would have been a
to be the-
tastier option. I don't know. I've never eaten an
I think
eagle.
we would have probably been conquered people if we. There's
turkeys.
a big difference between hey, we're the turkeys.
Yeah.
and then, we're the bald eagle.
Yeah.
Got a little more
yeah, they don't
intensity
forgot.
to it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's this group of turkeys that's always, not always, but often in this field on the way to drop off the girls. And I mean, back in the day, I used to kind of be able to make a turkey call, but now I just like to roll down my window and kind of scream gobble as
Yeah,
loud as I
just to
possibly
get 'em to
can, mainly just to mess
fire
with
off.
my kids.
Yeah.
And I haven't quite got it loud enough that the turkeys can hear me, so I'm working on that.
If you'll just open your car door and slam it, they'll
woo!
gobble that. Yeah.
It was about
Called a shot gobble.
2 years ago, I had driven my truck over to our shooting range, which is on like the
shot
back
gun.
40 of our land. And I had some friends with me. I'd taken them over there so I could use our range and we could shoot a little bit. And I didn't have a shotgun. I didn't have my shotgun with me. And as I was driving back, I just looked over, and probably within 30 yards it had to be like 8 turkeys. Some big ones. I'm just like, man, if I just had a shotgun. It was seasoned and everything.
Just ready to go.
Well,
And I had a tag. I was good to go. I just didn't have the
Didn't have the equipment.
didn't have the shotgun with me that day.
And in addition to being my favorite just hunting season, it is also my favorite table fare.
Yeah.
I just
Oh yeah, wild turkeys.
love it. I'll do a kebabs with them. I'll do one in a teriyaki marinade, and then I'll do another one in I like spicy buffalo, so we'll do that.
Yeah.
But with peppers, just different vegetables skewered between them, and it's just and I love grilling them that way, and it's just so
Stuff.
delicious.
Wild turkey's great. Probably the very best Thanksgiving turkey we had was 2 or 3 years ago.
I remember that story. Yeah.
And it was Jack shot it, and I cooked it. You know, I marinated it. I smoked it. I put it in the smoker, and it was the best turkey we've ever had.
I was mind blown on that.
Yeah. Now the next year, my dad shot
You
it.
brined it though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that dark meat, it can
Yeah.
be tender if you deal with it the right
Yeah.
way.
And but now the next year I did a turkey that my dad shot, and the thing was like on Adkins or something, because I mean the breasts were literally like less than an inch thick. I'm like, what is up with this turkey? This is the goofiest looking thing ever.
Yeah, their diet really has a lot to do with it. Because I've got one property that it's where I kill my really big birds. I've like close to state record weight birds that I've. In
Yeah.
fact, somebody told me no. I think you did have a state record.
You ate it
was
first.
like 31 pounds. Yeah, I just put it in the freezer, and they're like, you do know that was probably a record.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't care.
It was a tasty one.
It was good,
Yeah.
but it's crazy. Even you might think, well, that's a big one. I bet it's old and gristly. No, something about that farm. They're eating. It's a lot of cattle farms, so they're eating the grain. But they're huge, and the meat is better. Whereas the farm I took one from yesterday, it's amazing the difference when you're cutting it. You know immediately. Oh, this is a little bit tougher bird.
Yeah.
and skinnier bird.
A little wilder bird.
Crazy. Yeah.
Not a farm.
Yeah, not a farm bird.
Not a fat, happy farm bird.
Always reminds me of Adam Sandler's The Turkey Song.
Oh gosh.
Thanksgiving. Turkey, lurkey, lurkey.
I'm more partial to Red-Headed Sweatshirt.
Really?
Yeah. Adam Sandler songs.
I'll have to look that one up. That doesn't ring a bell. I know
Is that a
the
Jeopardy
turkey song,
category?
Early,
and I know the Lunch
Adam
Lady
Sandler.
song.
Lunch
which I think
Lady
is
song's a good
fantastic,
one
because
yeah.
of course features the great Chris Farley, who's passing on.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, kids.
Yes.
Just don't.
Don't just.
Why do all the
they're bad.
good, happy,
I don't know.
fun guys?
Do you know how many
die young?
times my kids are like on the radio, or not the radio, but like streaming music, they're like, who's this? I'm like, so and so. They're like, now they've just got to the point of asking, are they dead? And like, I'm like, no, that one's still alive. That one's dead. What happened to him? Well, they used drugs. Don't use drugs, kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Goodness
Love it.
gracious.
Love it.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I love the question. I want to clarify that. Not that they're dead.
Yeah. Are they dead? I mean, it's like on everybody now. I'm
As
like,
you get older, when they ask them those questions, it's going to be more and more of yes.
Like, oh yeah, they're all gone. Dead
They're
for
all
years.
dead. They're all dead.
This is terrible.
I'm close to, darling.
I know.
I just remember, being younger and the actors that were kind of, I don't know, the popular actors of my parents' generation, whoever that would be. I don't know. They can name them now, but I'm like, oh, they're old.
Hepburn.
Hepburn, yeah, John
gosh.
Wayne,
Yeah, John Wayne.
those are old people to me. But they weren't.
They weren't
No.
old.
They weren't. And now it's like
Will Ferrell's old.
Yeah, Will Ferrell's old. What's going on with that? I mean,
He's old to me.
Yeah.
that's fine. Whippersnapper.
I'm not that young.
Yeah, but a lot of it's like even like I don't know, like Nate Bargatze. It's like he's not old, but he's younger than me.
How old
Yeah,
is
he's younger
Nate
than me.
Bargatze?
He's like early 40s.
Early 40s.
He's like my age.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it is so, perspective is so weird because like I remember when I was a kid, and well, not a kid, when I was in like high school, teenager, thinking, man, like my teachers are old. They're like 50.
I know.
Right?
They
No,
might
they
have
were
been-
like 32.
or if
28.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
And
were
then-
they were maybe less than 10 years older than you.
The
know.
Aquanet didn't help. All right. Let's just.
The general, yeah. Well, and, people didn't dye their hair as much
Yeah.
back then,
Right,
And
yeah,
then, or
that's
if
true.
they did, like you knew they dyed their hair, there was
Right.
no question about it. But no, I found out last night that like our childhood dance teacher lady passed away, and I was like, oh man, Janelle, like how she was born in '69. Like,
wow.
Jeez.
and she would have taught me when I was in. I know.
that- you felt that one.
That's 2
know.
years older than
I
me.
know. I'm
And
like, well,
she
I'm
was
76.
this beautiful, vibrant person, and like I mean, I don't know what age I would have pegged Janelle as a kid, but not because she would have been like 25 when
Yeah.
she was teaching that,
Yeah.
because that was when I was like in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
when you think about it, you're a high school senior, you're 18, and you've got a student teacher in some class, they're probably 22.
Right.
I mean, there's a 4-year age difference, and it doesn't feel like that. I mean, you
At
think they're an
all.
adult.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, some of them don't. That gets
Yeah,
them
right.
in big trouble.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, right.
That's, a whole
Yeah, that's
other
another
conversation
story.
Right
Don't
there.
be doing that.
Yeah.
That's another program. That's called Dateline.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, and don't use drugs.
Next
kids.
on To Catch a Predator.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, it's kind of crazy that doesn't happen. I mean, it happens a lot, but I mean,
It's shocking it doesn't happen.
It's
more.
shocking it
Yeah,
doesn't
really
happen
is.
more, just
Yeah.
because there is, in our mind, there's an age difference. There's really not that big of an age difference, and you
Yeah,
know,
1 year different, and they would be in the same college together, and you'd think nothing of it.
Yes. Well, and the weird thing too is like, teenagers look a lot older than they did than they used to. Well, and that's weird too.
Except in
though.
the movies like
Except-
Grease, where you had like 30-year-olds playing high school.
But
Like,
there is
freaking
too
kidding me?
there's this weird segment of the, I don't know, that's not true, because you go back to like the pictures from the 60s, 70s, and 80s of high schoolers, and they were, especially probably the seniors and juniors, they kind of dressed like adults. Like it was a more, I don't know, it's weird. 'Cause
Suit
like,
and tie.
there's there's pictures, especially from the 80s, of like people, they look like I drive an IROC Z and I'm 42
sure.
years old.
Only if you were
Oh,
cool.
I have a
man.
mustache.
I want an IROC Z.
Yeah, who
Doesn't
doesn't?
everyone?
Oh, yeah. I'd take one right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really, if I really, what I'd really love to do is get an old, I don't know, 70s or 80s Chevy truck that doesn't have any of the computers
Square.
in it.
Yeah.
Square body, whatever. And just, make it nice on the outside, but then rip the guts out of it, put all the cool stuff on the
Make
inside.
it like comfy and
Yeah.
cool and safe.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Nobody
know.
would know.
I kind of want it to be
No
original.
computers.
Can you smell the inside of that truck right
Oh,
now?
yeah, 100%.
I can smell the inside.
Every
Oh, yeah.
truck from the 80s.
Uh-huh.
Like I can smell
Little
it right now.
musty, dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
seats like gotten cooked
Smells
in the
like
sun,
hay.
and now it's
Uh-huh.
flaking
It
apart.
smells like
Yep.
hay. They always smelled like hay.
yeah. Well, that's because you're from around here.
I know.
They smell like hay.
Because it was actually hay.
Hay
It
and
probably didn't smell
cigarette
like
smoke
that.
as well.
They probably didn't smell like that in other places.
Oh,
Here
boy.
they smelled like hay and dreams.
Hay and dreams. I'm leaving that one alone.
That was a good time. That's a really good time.
I wasn't going that way.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway,
off
sorry.
subject.
Some Boulevard of Broken Dreams
Oh.
tune we can play in the background. right
Man,
now.
this is a nostalgic episode here.
It is.
Yeah,
Well, isn't
yeah.
that fun? They all
Yeah,
have to
it's
be
fun.
nostalgic at this point.
Well,
Yeah.
Talk about nostalgia. Go back and watch the show we did last night with Mark Queen and.
I need to watch
Brent
that.
Lee.
I missed all
The-
that.
the tagline
we've
caught
done
me.
it
Stay
occasionally.
off my
We've done
lawn.
two episodes. We call it the Grumpy Old Men Show, and/or Get Off My Lawn, whichever way you want to think about it.
We need more platforms for grumpy old
There's
men.
just a
Oh, I
lot.
thought I was going to say, what's
Yeah.
this the waffle?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the waffle without Lauren?
Without Lauren. Yeah, we have Mark Queen, so
Mark instead of Ballard?
it's fun.
He's not grumpy, though. He's such a pleasant man.
Oh, he is a pleasant guy.
Yeah.
Super
Always
pleasant
has
guy.
been.
So
Oh.
anyway, yeah, that's on there, and I don't know, we may do that a little more regularly.
Well,
but
yeah. Why not? I mean, it's fun. It's
that-
fun.
It doesn't cost us any more than we're already paying to do
Right.
that stuff.
No, you
Costs
gotta do
you a
it.
thing.
What was this? Oh, I went to a music thing Saturday night in Springfield, and it was such a neat deal because usually you go to see your friend who plays music, and it's in like a bar, right? It's in a bar, and you're like, oh, I'm in a bar, and you get to an age where you're like, I don't really want to be in a bar. I want to actually hear the music.
Yeah.
And so it was at the.
Can we sit down?
Yeah, can we sit in a relatively comfortable seat and not a bar top
We'll do a
because I'm
live
short, and
concert
so I'm
on
just dangling.
Planet 417. Just bring it. We should do that. I would love to do that. Have
Yeah.
musicians come in, just do a little set.
Why are we not doing that?
We should. Well,
should.
we need some talent. That's the problem. We need some people that.
Sorry.
should do
Sorry,
an
can't
open
help.
mic night on K Raj.
Let's do it.
What?
Let's do
Sounds
it.
frightening.
I mean,
How
You
about
say
kara-
open mic, and I think, ooh,
We could do karaoke. We could
Yeah.
have like-
karaoke.
that's all I could think of is karaoke when you said
K
open
Raj karaoke right
mic.
here.
Yikes.
I mean, even the terrible singers are
it's a
highly
good,
entertaining.
It's a good time. You're not trying to be great
I mean,
singer. You're
it's-
trying to be
we're
entertaining.
not. Yeah, we're not trying to cut records and I don't know, make millions. Okay,
So-
anyway,
Yeah, in my mind. So, my wife grew up in a very small Southern Baptist church in the middle of nowhere, right? And so they would have these Fifth Sunday singings.
Yeah, for sure.
And you'd bring your cassette tape. I love hearing her talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
And her and her
Got my
brother
track.
get together.
I got my track. Put my track in.
Her and her brother get together and start talking about it. They talk about the guy called The Fly. So when he would sing, he wouldn't look at you. His eyes would just do this. And they said he's looking at a fly. That's what it looked like. His eyes just going, anyway. So that's what I have in my mind.
Oh,
is
yes.
A good old country fifth Sunday
We
singing.
had that too. I remember that.
Took all week to get up the courage to get up
Right.
there.
We used to always
Sing
do
for
like
the Lord.
every Sunday.
Singing for the Lord.
Somebody'd sing a special.
A special, yeah.
Special.
Oh, I'm having
You'd
a
have the
special.
You'd have a special, and
I went to a bigger church, so you got on the schedule to sing a special.
yeah,
It was
Well, I think
it was
they
scheduled out for a
yeah,
couple
they
months.
did that. I think we did that. in that
You had to audition.
Oh, there
to
was
sing
no
a special.
auditioning. I guarantee you that.
I was a regular special singer.
We had one
very
individual who I will.
felt special.
I'm going to make this as generic as possible. I'm trying to even make it genderless so that it won't be.
Look at you.
But
I'm still
this
guessing.
person,
Though. Go ahead.
They play your track. Not only would they be off key,
Oh.
they would be off beat. I mean, it's like, what's the point of this track?
They're
'Cause you're
just
not
going.
along with it at all. It's just cringeworthy. And I promised my wife and sister, I said, you will never.
Sing a special.
No, you will never let me do that. You cannot hurt my
Do
feelings
not
more.
tell me to go up there.
You can tell me, you suck. Don't do that.
So see, I can hear my mom.
And that's what really killed me about this is this person was married.
Somebody wasn't being honest with
Their
her.
spouse had an obligation not to let them embarrass themselves that way.
I think
He was afraid of her. She was afraid of
I
him.
don't know why
We
you're
don't
saying
know.
he and she. We don't know.
We don't
We do not
know.
know.
So,
Oh,
so
man.
these were the
I did a
conversations.
great job of
these were the
keeping that
conversations
anonymous.
on the
So
ride
good.
home from church. My mom would say, "We need to remember that their heart is in the right
Oh, for
place,
sure.
and they're
Bless their
singing for the
hearts.
Lord.
That's right.
They're singing for the Lord."
Because they sure weren't singing for us.
And I'm pretty sure I said something like that right before I got slapped across the face.
Yes.
Lord, have you done a special
done
at
a
church?
have you sang a special?
That kind of hit my brain. Like, did I ever? I'm sure I would have sang.
Oh,
at
I did
the
plenty.
Kids.
I did.
So like we had a choir.
I was probably terrible too.
Well,
Nobody would tell me.
We had a choir, and so
man.
and I mean the choir wasn't there all the time. It kind of depended on like how many volunteers were there. I have sang. I mean, I took voice lessons, and
Wow.
I've sang in things, and I've sang in special ways in special places. But I don't know
Is
if
that a song? Special ways and
I was
special
gonna say
places.
it should be. If it's not, it should be. It is now. Hey,
That's what
Chat
I'm gonna sing for open
GPT,
mic
let's write a
night.
new song.
But I'm not sure I ever like. Oh, that's from Dwayne. Yeah, I'm not sure I ever like stood up in church and sang by myself. I can't think of a situation where I did. I mean, I have sang in front of people several
y'all-
My
times.
first one, I was 5 years old.
Oh, little cute little
And I
5-year-old
sang,
Ballard.
Yep, I sang, "Make me a servant, humble and sweet.
Yeah.
Lord, let me lift up those who are weak. And may the prayer of my heart always be, make me a servant today."
Yeah, we
Amen.
grew up the same way. I think I did probably
sang
some
that.
singing when I was like
That was
3
out of
and
some
4
kind of
and
kids'
5,
musical
like, this
special.
little light of mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it shine. So-
But
Sure.
we had a cassette recording of that, and my granny wore that cassette tape out of me
So
singing.
now my favorite thing that people used to do is they didn't have a track. They would just play the recording of the actual artist singing
And just
Oh,
sing
and
over
and
sing
it.
just
with
sing
them.
along with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ray Boltz.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. We're doing a duet today.
Oh my goodness!
No, honestly, in retrospect, probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, right.
You had a backup
And
singer. I
that
mean.
way the sound man can turn your mic down.
Yes. Bingo.
Turn the track up.
Yeah. You sound awesome.
You sounded fantastic.
You sounded really great today. That was really good stuff.
Oh, wow, man.
Did you guys
That
do
was-
any? Did you guys do any of the plays? I mean, there's always a
Oh.
Christmas
Oh
pageant.
yeah, we did
Yeah.
Christmas pageant. I have vivid memories of Christmas. I can put myself in the room of a Methodist church Christmas pageant as a kid.
Yeah.
The lighting is warm. The setting.
Yeah,
is
those lights are
It was
hot.
warm. I
Yeah.
had sparkly tinsel on
So-
my white sheet frock thing.
We did some legit like
majestic.
plays, just like you rehearsals and costumes and all that. We did a couple of those. One of them was really, really good.
One of them.
One of them,
Not
one
bad.
Of them.
One out of 20.
1 out of 20. But did you know she passed away a few years ago? Nancy Talley. Do you remember Nancy?
Yeah, I do.
She was a high
one of the
school-
music teachers.
She was my accounting teacher. She was
Oh,
a business
accounting
teacher.
teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah.
Well, she actually helped us. She was kind of the director of this, and it was really good. We actually did it. We were kind of young adults when we did it, but I wish I could find the script because it was really well written. It was really cool. But anyway, I can't
Interesting.
remember. I think
So-
my sister was in it, and
Yeah.
Shelley Chesick, and Can't remember who else was in it, but yeah, it was fun. We had a good time.
I grew up at Second Baptist in Springfield, and in the 80s, 90s, it was kind of its heyday. It was a huge church, and so we did every year. It was the Passion Play, the Easter pageant, and it was massive. And so my favorite part was I was just the crowd scene guy, you know. So
Yeah.
the crowd when we got fed, I was like, oh yes, this is the scene where I get to eat bread and grapes. Like,
Best day at
I'm just sitting there,
church as a kid.
I'm supposed to be acting. I'm just shoving I'm like chipmunks
I'm
out
so
here.
hungry.
Yeah.
Acting.
But I had to learn how to do stage makeup. And so I got tired of my mom putting my makeup on for me. I'm like, I'm doing this myself. This is
Yeah, I can
stupid.
handle this, Mom.
So as a middle school boy, I was like, I know how to do makeup.
Does anyone know how to do makeup? No, I was like, I do. I can do that.
Well, so that brings me back to all.
So
of
I'm the middle school boy looking at all the girls going, can I help you with your base?
You're not
You're,
good.
you're orange here and
You
white
did not
here.
pick the right
Yeah, it's
color,
the wrong color.
and there's a line.
Yeah.
There's a dark line.
You're a autumn, and you're putting spring base on. Like, what's wrong with you?
So that brings me back to the high
That is
school
why Ballard
musicals
had
that
no
we did.
girlfriend.
And I came
at
out straight.
Rogersville.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, they would actually have the girls do our makeup for us.
Yes,
and
I
there was
said
this
that.
one. I think it was a year we did Oklahoma. It was not good. I mean, we all looked like girls. They did our makeup like girl makeup, and like big rosy cheeks.
Where the fin comes scurrying down the plane.
Yeah, not good.
Child, this is really childhood trauma
Surrey
being
with a
unpackaged.
fringe on top.
Oh, man.
Oh, Mom, they made my lipstick too dark.
I don't look like
It was not good.
they don't want me washed out by the lights, but
I actually
The
think
picture in
there
my
were some
head's
parents that
amazing right
complained.
now.
Like,
Dude looks
this
like a
is not
lady.
right.
Like, this
Yes.
is weird. This
This
has
is
crossed
weird.
the
You
line.
need to tone it back, and
Oh,
there's
my-
a
who was
whole
creatively
backstory to
in
all
charge
that
of
now
this?
too.
Yeah.
That we will not get into.
Oh,
on the
I
air.
knew where that went.
Yeah,
wow.
we'll not go there.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's a lot of things I'm trying not to say right
Oh,
now. So
Oh,
yeah,
the smell
yeah.
of an old church
Hey,
basement.
and I realize that
you know what the
can't-
cure to
can't-
that is, Beth? A potluck.
Yeah.
Fix that smell. in a
Oh,
hurry.
and musty. It's got to be musty.
It's musty.
A little
Oh,
bit
it
damp.
was.
Smells
Yeah.
That's a
like cheesy
given.
potatoes.
So, and I used to, I had
And
to,
coffee.
you got to be careful how you say this,
Bad
but
coffee.
because of
Bad
like Jim
coffee.
Jones, right? But church Kool-Aid, you remember like church Kool-Aid? I mean, grew up with church Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
We did
Never
not have
sweet
church
enough?
Kool-Aid.
Never sugar.
Yeah.
They never put any sugar in it. It's just like colored water.
Colored water.
It was nasty.
They're saving
remember
money.
church
We're gonna
Kool-Aid.
make this. We're gonna make this
So bad.
Kool-Aid go as far as those
so bad.
loaves and fish.
Much like
Yeah.
the fish.
Yeah.
It's just never gonna run out because we're never gonna put enough in the water to make a dent in that container.
Oh man. And I mean, I will say, and as a kid in a small town church, I mean, it was a larger church for a small town.
Right.
Man, you knew the inside and
You knew
outside
what
of
the
that
pantry
place.
was.
Oh.
Yeah.
You had whole access.
Drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh, we all drank
Yes,
Kool-Aid
yes.
at BBS.
It was terrible.
I've got the joy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You needed the joy because that Kool-Aid wasn't gonna
But
do
I
it.
mean, the minute you were in that church and you got your opportunity, you were snooping. You were
Oh.
throughout that whole thing.
Oh,
yeah.
You knew crevices of that
Yeah.
church that people who were on the board.
So I don't want.
But your grandpa was a pastor.
He was a pastor, but I mean, I don't think that's why I was, because he would have been.
But you were there a lot, is what I mean.
Yes, but he wasn't the pastor of my church
Okay.
because they Methodists, they moved him around all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
So he was the pastor of my church for a while, but then like I mainly remember him being in the Kabul Methodist Church.
Gotcha.
But no, we were there a lot for different reasons. And
You
I
had
mean,
choir practice.
Yeah,
and
choir
deacons
practice.
meeting
You were
and-
doing youth group,
Yeah.
whatever. Preschool. I still did preschool there probably, and I even remember that. But I mean, you knew the ins and outs
Oh
of
yeah.
that place.
Well, so I grew up First Baptist Rogersville right here in town.
yeah.
And,
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one to snoop
Oh,
around
Oh, yeah.
in.
It's
It's one of those buildings that builds and adds
Oh,
and builds.
yeah.
Kind of
on
get
all
these
that.
little arms.
There was
Little
there
lipstick
really
panties
was. So the original sanctuary, of course, had been turned into a classroom because the new sanctuary was built. But what they did was they walled off the old baptistry.
Oh, fun.
And it was still there. It was just behind.
What a
the
great
walls.
hiding spot.
And
Oh,
there was a
yeah.
little way to get in there.
Church hide and seek's the
And
best.
those youth lock-ins, we knew how to get in there.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. We sure did.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
There's definitely some hidden nooks and crannies in that place.
But I mean, I don't think kids get to do that anymore.
No.
Okay,
All the
so
buildings are all
let's
new.
be
Yeah.
honest, though.
Well, and you don't have all the extra
There
extra
wasn't a
meetings.
lot of activities, and at that time for youth. And so maybe I'm speaking for myself here, but there wasn't cell phones to distract you.
Right.
There was barely a TV around. You usually didn't want to watch it.
Right.
So you snooped. That's what you did. And
Yeah.
by snoop, I mean
You're looking for food. You're looking for.
scavenging.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Animal crackers, bingo.
Looking for food.
But you'd go like when you got left alone in a place or with a couple of your friends, you just gave yourself a tour.
Yeah.
Like your grandparents' house, the church, the school.
Wander
if
around
you
the
ever,
woods.
You'd
Just
wander
see what's
around
out
the
there.
woods.
Yeah.
You just take yourself on a walkabout. And I mean,
And parents weren't worried.
it was so stinking fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like, it is one of my favorite memories, and I call it snooping now. And I mean, you weren't.
It's exploring.
It's exploring.
Yeah.
Exploring.
And I mean, I could tell you
I think,
everything.
I think we're better for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you look at it and parents, like, they won't let their kid out of their sight.
No.
Or if you've got to be somewhere, who's watching my kid while I'm there?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
we live on a 120-acre century farm, but I'm betting that one and my other one have never even been over in the woods.
Oh, man,
Maybe.
we were in
I don't
every
know.
part of the
Mr.
woods.
Producer, have you ever been in the woods?
He's not paying
He's on his
attention.
phone. He's not paying attention.
I thought those
He's
headphones
like,
were
I hate you
checking
guys.
REQ.
I just, he did.
I hate you guys.
You guys are jerks.
This is awesome.
But I mean, you did. You explored stuff. At any time you were given the opportunity to be by yourself in a place, you went on a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were usually by yourself. Because if
What am I
somebody
gonna
was with
find
you,
today?
that's when you got in trouble. Because then you, like, oh,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
we got access to stuff. We're going to cause a problem.
Double dare you. Triple
yeah.
dog dare
Yeah.
you.
Do you think you could take this makeup that we used for the Christmas?
Well, you would go through and
Whoops.
you'd be like, oh, they forgot to lock that door.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And
that
you're
door's
I've
normally
never
locked.
been in that door
Yeah,
before.
what's going on
What's
here?
in here? Oh, it's
Or
the janitor's
even
closet.
better, I bet I can pick that lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did pick a few
I
locks.
did
There
Yeah.
was
I
there
don't
were
think I ever
definitely in the
succeeded.
Logan Rogeville High School back in the day, which is now the middle school. There were several doors to classrooms that were super easy because the gap was too big. You could
Oh,
stick
yeah.
your pocket knife in there, pop, 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 and pop that door open.
I will say that
We
those
used to do it all
skills
the
came in
time.
hand. It wasn't that long ago. There was we'll just say a local business that I was at, and a particular employee was struggling to, the key wasn't working. And so I looked at the way it was configured, and I was like, let me see. Hold on, hit credit card, and I was able to get like, and the look that they gave me, I was like, I don't do this regularly.
Like, you're the
This
coolest
is my
person.
childhood.
These are life skills.
Yeah.
that
what
are going
we
to
did.
die with us.
Right.
Well,
right.
you didn't have a
But
phone with
the-
you to call and get help.
gotta-
So you had to get in.
The
Yeah.
mid-20s person on the other end of this situation was looking at me like, what kind of criminal are you?
I understand. This is not a criminal knowledge.
This
is
is
just
childhood.
life. This is a life
was
skill.
my childhood,
It's like,
yeah.
I got to get in somewhere. I don't have a key.
Right.
I'm
Oh,
going to get in.
it was
Pop the
hysterical.
lock.
I did
It really
such a
was.
sketchy old person thing last night. Listen to this. And I'll tell this story because this person is definitely not watching. I come out of rec league volleyball, right, which has been an absolute hoot. Oh,
That
my
is
gosh.
awesome. I was doing that a few years ago.
Thank you, rec league sports,
Yeah.
because it is perfectly okay to do park sports for 6 weeks and just have a good time with it, right? And then just take in the fact that
my kid's not going pro.
my kid's not going pro and the talent in the room has not been fully developed.
I got the picture.
It's amazing. So I'm walking out and I encounter someone standing outside their car and she's like, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't know. What's the situation?
Need some context.
And she's like, I think my car's leaking something. And so I walk over and I look down and I'm
Your air
like,
conditioning is turned
and I'm
on.
like, was your air conditioner on? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I bend down, put my hand in it,
Yep,
and
that's
smell
water.
it.
Yes.
It's water. You're fine. Your condensation. Your air conditioner's condensating. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, should I call my dad? I'm like, don't call your dad.
Yeah,
You're good.
You're
You're
gonna
good.
be okay.
And I was just like, I got in my car and I left, and I'm like, I just looked so old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that lady was like, look at that old witch lady that just
The
saved me.
skills
who
of the
wasn't
hills.
afraid to put her hand
know that? She's
in
got her
the
hill
in the
skills.
asphalt liquid and smell
Smell
it.
it.
I mean, look, think,
Taste it.
Look at that. Taste it. That's when you get to 85, you just
So one little thing I want to share with this. So we were cleaning out the old farmhouse this weekend on the compound
Oh, man.
because Jack and Sammy are getting married. They're going
Aw.
to move in there. Yeah. And I came across something and I saved it. I'm going to go get it. You guys talk
okay.
about
I'm
yourself.
excited.
wow.
I'm excited. Is
We
it
need
a
some
nostalgic
traveling
relic?
music. If only our producer was paying
Dun, dun.
attention.
It's like I I don't care about you people.
Yeah, I can hear you. I just don't care.
I hope all of these random blutherings, I don't know, that we've had over this entire episode have made any sense at all, because it's been...
Wouldn't be the waffle if it did. We're just glad Beth's watching.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
I hope you're still watching.
What
is
has he
it?
found? Oh,
It's a
wow.
picture.
It goes on the wall. Oh, look at that. That's quite cool. Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm getting the picture. So
Yeah, there you
it's a picture painting of the old Rogersville.
The old train station.
So I saved that. It's going to be hanging in the office now.
I dig that.
So
You just pulled that out of the barn.
It was in the farmhouse.
In the farmhouse.
So is it like a sketch that someone
In the
did?
farmhouse.
In the
It
farmhouse.
looks like a watercolor, actually.
Interesting.
That's.
Yeah, I thought this was a nice little piece
That's
of
neato
Rogersville
mosquito.
history.
I'll have to look at that closer when I am done on my.
Yeah,
Did you check
sure.
the backing to see if the Declaration of Independence?
Did you check if there?
We should probably take
Man,
that off there. See
that's
what's
another thing.
the town charter is in there.
Yeah.
we were looking for when we were snooping. We were looking for snacks and treasure.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I ever found any treasure. I fully still expect to find treasure, and I think that's false hope.
You keep buying these old houses, Lauren.
Yeah.
No, I've just found mouse poop. That's all I
Is that
found.
it?
Yeah.
I found some. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever found treasure. I've found just more than once, like wads of cash on the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I went through a phase of that.
That's happened
Beth's
to me a
here,
couple
thanksfully.
Beth's here.
She's
still-
here.
She's still here.
I'm here.
I
lose
went
her
through
yet.
a phase of finding cash on the ground too.
Yeah.
It was a brief phase where usually I'd try to, is anybody around? And I mean, if no one's around, you just.
One time, there was enough in it I was able to return it to its rightful owner. Another time, it was just cash randomly, just all alone.
I used to find that. Yeah, I went through a finding cash phase. Of course, there's not so much cash.
It's a cashless society, yeah. So
So-
you're not going to find that.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Much to our detriment. Well, good show.
Well, if anybody ever
That's
wants
fun
to do
anyway.
a documentary on what it was like to grow up in the 80s, nights,
You don't need to. Just watch the
just
waffle.
watch the waffle.
Yeah.
We just explained it. You snooped. You had some snacks.
You got skills.
Kool-Aid did not have enough sugar.
And you dreamed about in Iraq.
And I still think I'm going to find
IROC Z.
treasure and IROC-Z's and the
Yeah.
smell of Chevy's truck.
And yes, we all looked 25 when
And
we were 18.
You know what?
Except for me.
Do you know what Iraq stood for?
I did at one point.
International Race of Champions.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
where it was the pace car.
Yeah,
They built.
that's right. That's right.
Where it comes from.
sense.
All right, we'll be
Makes
back
sense.
next week with more waffle. Thanks for watching.